Ubisoft gave me early access to the new Siege season, Operation Twin Shells. And here's everything that you need to know about the new season. Starting off with the new operator. This operator actually is really fun to play. It's arguably one of the most fun operators I've played in a while. Here's how it works. You essentially are two robots. You can play as one robot at a time, with the robot that you're not being played sitting in idle mode. This idle mode makes the robot crouch and it puts a deployable shield in front of you, while the active one that you are playing as can run around to do anything that a normal operator can. You can also switch between these robots by pressing the ability button and then holding down your action button to switch your consciousness over to your idle robot. The one you were just playing as will immediately crouch and put a deployable shield in front of its face wherever you are standing, and then you will activate in the past idle robot. It's pretty simple. You just transfer your consciousness from one robot to another, and whichever one you're not in sits in a deployable shield state. So naturally, me and the other people that were playing the test server, Skittles, Atheno, Coconut Bra, G, and other content creators, were thinking of niche ways that we could use this operator. The first of which being, we would try to hide the idle shell somewhere in the map where nobody could find it. Almost like an Echo player trying to hide himself when he uses his cameras for post plants. So we did that. We'd castle up the objective. As you can see, I put my shell in bathroom. We would castle off the shell in bathroom, and we'd play off of it, making sure it was safe with mute jammers and things of that nature. That way they couldn't find that shell and we could play as the active one. And if our lives were ever in danger, we could switch to the inactive one, essentially saving our life. Because here's the thing. If your idle shell dies, that doesn't mean you die. It just means you can't switch over to your other body. So you essentially get 2 lives. If the one that you're playing in dies though, you die completely. You do not get to play the round anymore. So naturally what you should be doing is you should be getting into gunfights with people. And the second you think you're about to lose, you just switch consciousness over to a different robot. Sure, they'll kill that idle robot, but you essentially got a second chance of life. But now that you know kind of how to play the operator, what are some good counters to the operator? Well, most notably, countering the idle shell is going to be the best way to counter this operator, because without the idle shell, they don't really have an ability. So things that are good at countering that are Brava, because Brava can hack the shell, and if the person doesn't switch over before it overheats, it'll just explode. Flores can obviously counter this gadget. Callie and Ash can both break the deployable shield that the idle shell has and then shoot the idle shell. Grenades can counter it. Even Capitao Fire can fire off the idle shell. So anything of that nature that can explode or light things on fire or hack gadgets can completely counter the idle shell. I was even able to get a fuse kill like this one. I got him! I got him with the fuse! No way! R90, R90. You motherfucker!
I'm so sorry. I see the date as you want.
Which didn't kill the idle shell, but it killed the active player somehow. And initially, we honestly thought that the operator was pretty bad because of all of the things that countered it. But that was until we started to learn how to play the operator. You see, I had a great idea. What if instead of just saving one body and not using it and using it as like a second life, instead of doing that, why don't you use both to hold down 2 areas at one time? So here's what I did. When we were on coastline, I would hold one area, and then when I thought that the enemies were going bathroom, I'd switch over to there and try to get a kill, and if they were pushing the other place, I'd switch over. And you keep switching so you can essentially hold 2 areas at one time. It's really dangerous, but high risk sometimes comes with high reward.
I'm gonna shoot it right now. Did it break? For sure.
It counts as a kill. You get the red hit marker.
I get the point spread, so I assume it does. That is interesting. Interesting.
So do you think it counts as double deaths for you?
No, actually, because if you're not dead, then it doesn't count for sure. I don't think it counts as a death though.
Bomb located by Op 4.
I'm hiding it
You
in
only have
bathroom.
3 scans around? What?
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I feel like I'm playing a calculator right now.
Wait, I'm so confused. So wait, if the clone dies, you don't die, right?
Yeah.
No.
You don't die.
You don't
Do not die.
Bro, what the fuck?
Fake.
I've been thinking the complete opposite the entire time.
They're on the bathroom hatch.
Alright. First been smoking the Zaza too much.
Alright, we're running Basti now.
Okay, I'm scanning 2 things. He's phone outside.
Throw my bathroom drone hole, I had to leave. Yeah, so the best way I found to play him is you just transfer between your clones. Damn. When you're safe to do so, obviously. But like, yeah, you're just constantly switching between them. Skittles at the time also had a really good idea. He was playing Cafe, and after I ran out as Solus and got 4 spawn peak kills, which kind of a dick move on my part in the test server, he used his idle shell as a deployable shield that he could sit behind to shoot other people. But now that we've gone over everything that the new operator does, let's go over some other changes that are coming this season. Starting off with the Knock rework. Now, when they said they were going to be buffing and or reworking Knock, most people thought that they meant by giving her silent step back. That's what I wanted, and that's what most of the community wanted. Here's the thing though, if they were to do that, it would make Nook broken again, because she was broken when she had the silent step. As much as people don't want to admit it, she was overpowered. In fact, she was the #1 most banned attacker in Pro League for 3 seasons straight. She had a 100% ban rate on maps like Bank as well. So way too overpowered, and unless they nerf silent step, it just wouldn't make sense to add it. So what did they do? Ubisoft actually, for once, had a really good rework idea. It made it to where if you weren't doing any loud action, whether it be shooting, reloading, getting on or off cameras, doing any action like placing breaching charges, sprinting, whatever it may be, as long as you're not doing an action that is loud or fast, the ability, even when it's activated, will not drain. So theoretically, as a Nook player, you could sit under a camera, idle, walk around even, not sprint around, but walk around under a camera and just hold a flank for the entire round, and your ability will never run out. Now, if you've ever played Nook at a high level, or maybe you have a bit of a comp experience, you know that Nook is meant to be played as a tertiary fragger. She kind of watches flanks, she plays passively, and she only strikes when she needs to, at the very last second. That is what good Nook players do, and this ability allows her to do that. One of the biggest frustrations of playing Nook before the rework was that if you wanted to sit under a camera, you only really had a few seconds to do so, and it made her ability borderline useless. But now, if you're sitting under a camera, you can do it forever. And now her ability is not at all useless. In fact, it's quite strong, and it allowed me to hit clips just like this one.
There's a guy in the bathroom.
Okay. I'm pushing cash over.
Oh!
Op 4 eliminated.
Oh! I just got a... What the fuck?
W.
I'm wall hacking. Now the Nook rework is pretty good, and I also think this next rework is just as good, and that is the rework for Dokkaebi. So instead of having just 2 calls that you could activate whenever you want to, you still have 2 calls, but they have to charge up. So you will not get the first call until 45 seconds of the round have passed initially. That is when you'll get your first call. You can use it whenever you want to, but you won't get your second one until another 45 seconds passes. All this does is it makes Dokkaebi players have to pace themselves, and it makes roam clearing a lot harder because you can't just spam calls. I think this is a great Dokkaebi rework, and is one of the better ideas that Ubisoft has had in mind in any of their seasons. So far, in my opinion, Ubisoft has absolutely killed it with this season, with the new operator and the new operator's gun being super good, the Knock rework, the Dokkaebi rework, but there's one little detail that I don't like about this new season, and that, the final item on our list, is the Solus rework. The Solus rework is bad, because honestly, it's not a rework. It's just a nerf. And most people, including myself, have been complaining that Solus was way too over nerfed. I think bringing back her impacts and bringing back her range was all they needed to do to make her viable again. The only reason she was overpowered in the first place was because she was able to use her ability in the prep phase, making it to where you could not drone in the prep phase. She also had a huge cooldown period, so she could use her ability for long periods of time. If all they did was take away those 2 changes, I think she would be balanced. But they also took away her impacts, and they took away her range. And now with this rework, they've made it to where you can't even see the gadgets that are on your scanner. You have to scan them, and you only get 3 scans at a time, so you can only ping 3 gadgets before you don't know even what you're scanning. You can still call out to your team that there's gadgets being deployed, and you can kind of see if it's a drone, if it's moving or not, but that's about it. You really don't have much information, which was the entire point of Solus's ability, and the fact that she's already weak and they made her weaker, I just don't like this change. But I mean, all of the other changes I absolutely love with this season. I mean, Ubisoft just killed it with this new season in my opinion. Now there are some other changes too. For one change I didn't really talk about in the test server when I was playing a bit early was the fact that they're adding a new event pack. So if you don't know, on PC next season, they're adding a tournament game mode. So you can squad up with any other stack you want to be with and play in actual tournaments in Siege. And these tournaments come with something called competitive packs. I think that's the name, competitive packs. Somewhere along the line, you get the idea, but they come with competitive packs. These packs will get you competitive exclusive skins that you can get whenever you want to. Now, obviously, because we were in the test server and we only had content creators there, we couldn't really experience this firsthand. But it's something that I'm super excited about in the upcoming season. But that's it for all of the new changes this season. My name's Alka, and I'll see you in the next one.